Welcome in. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Keith Smith, who wrote a great piece recently with the Celtics blog that gives an outside perspective into the Boston Celtics. Now, he asked a lot of NBA league executives and scouts about their opinions about different areas of the Celtics. And we're going to focus in on Kemba Walker and Gordon Hayward, because I think the consensus about Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum was overwhelmingly positive, as we would expect it to be. But there was one interesting comment when you asked about how they view the Celtics as contenders. And someone made a comment that said, I don't know if when Jaylen and Jayson are at their peak, that Kemba and Hayward will still be super valuable. Do you think that was an interesting point?
Yeah, it was, because it says to me that the view around the league is that Tatum and Brown are still a year or two away from being really at their peak, and that's not unfair. They're in year 4 and year 3, so I think it is going to take them a little bit of time to get to that peak. And then as far as Kemba and Gordon Hayward go, they're older guys, not old by any means, and not on their way out, but by that point they're probably starting to come down from their side. They're probably starting to slide down. So it's a little bit of ships passing in the night. I think there was another comment in the piece, an article that I thought made a lot of sense, was with Kemba is as soon as Tatum and Brown rather are able to be kind of be the man, or be the co-man, I guess would be the best way to put that. Kemba can be, maybe he becomes even more efficient, because now he's just kind of playing off the two of them. And that's what I think the Celtics envisioned a little bit with that signing. And clearly the goal there was to bring him and Hayward in as guys who can function with less touches. They don't need the ball a lot, unlike Kyrie Irving, who was, he's always at best with the ball in his hands. And I think the idea was, hey, we want to turn this over to the kids a little bit and get a couple guys, who can really fit around them. And I think the roster construction makes a lot of sense in that respect.
And a couple of people hinted at the fact that they thought Kemba Walker might be slowing down this season. Obviously, Kemba's experienced more issues with injury than ever before this season. He was overwhelmingly healthy during his time in Charlotte. Do you think that plays into the fact of people being a little bit more down on Kemba this season, or do you think he really is slowing down?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of recency bias in there, where we just saw him and he was dealing with the knee injury, and he'd really been dealing with that for, let's say, about a quarter of the way into the year, and all the way up until the season went on pause. So I do think there is that thought in there, and there's always those worries with the smaller guards. Once the legs, if they start to have problems, that can be a thing, for the rest of their career. But I think Boston has shown a willingness with these guys to really manage them through things. And I think part of the reason why they try to build a good deep roster is so you have the ability to do that. You want to be able to sit Kemba out, from time to time when you need to, and not have too much worry. So I find it hard to say he's slowing down, because he was so good when he did play. And it's not like he missed half the season or anything. He had the scary neck injury that cost him a couple games, and that was, but that was a fluke thing that came out of nowhere. And then the knee, yeah, it cost him some time, but he didn't miss a ton of time. So I'm not too worried about it.
When it comes to Gordon Hayward, obviously, he's been a little bit streaky this season, but pretty solid for the most part. But a lot of things revolved around sacrifice when it comes to Hayward, because when the league is so high on Brown and Tatum, is Gordon Hayward willing to take that third, fourth role on the team in order to win? Do you think Hayward is willing to sacrifice that?
Yeah, I think he absolutely is. My perspective with Gordon Hayward has always been that he's a very realistic guy about who he is and where he's at in his career. And I think he came to Boston with ideas of, I'm going to kind of be the man here along with Isaiah Thomas. And then when they got Kyrie, I think he quickly realized, all right, I'm Robin now. He's Batman, and that's okay with me. And that not Robin his wife, but Robin the superhero. I never put that together until just now. But then I think with Hayward now, I think the realization was when he missed the entire season, Tatum and Brown really were like, wow, we've got something here in these kids, and they're going to be quicker. It's not going to be a 3, 4, 5 year project with these guys. They're going to be ready right away. And last year, I kind of throw last year out for everybody in a lot of respects. It was such a mass. No, it was just there were too many mouths to feed, and it didn't go well. But I think this year, what you've seen with Gordon Hayward is when he slots into that third, fourth role on the team, he's so overqualified for it, but it allows him again to be super efficient. He's had one of the best shooting seasons we've seen from a Celtic in quite a while. He's nearly a 50-40-90 guy. He is, doing a lot as a playmaker. His defense is still really good. And I think the question of does his attitude and mindset allow for him to be that fourth guy or third guy? I think the answer is yes. And I think you're going to see with the Celtics, when you have four guys, somebody's always kind of missing, whether it's due to injury or just resting somebody or someone has an off night. So there's always going to be enough opportunity for him to step into a little bit more of a leading role. And I don't think he's the kind of guy who is, I got to be the man. I got to go somewhere, because I just don't think that was ever the case for him. I think he came to Boston to win. And I think if to win means take a little bit of a lesser role stat-wise, but still have a huge impact, I think he's perfectly content with that.
Well, for some new interesting perspectives on the Boston Celtics, check out Keith's article on the Celtics blog. And for all of our Celtics coverage, check it out on our website at clnsmedia.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Celtics All Access.